Good day everyone, my name is James Baltala from BSN Math 1A, and for today I will be discussing about what is climate change. So what is climate change? A climate change refers to a long-term shift in temperature, the init or limit ng temperatura, and a weather pattern or means pagbabago ng klima. So from the word long-term shift, ito yung pangmatagalan na pagbabago ng klima. Halimbawa na lang ay yung nangyayari ngayon, which is kanina lang ay mainit, and then pagka ilang segundo ay umulan. So yan yung a simple definition of a climate change. And other examples of climate change is El Nino. So pag tumaas ang level ng temperatura ng init, tendency is magkakaroon ng dry land, and also is the water is mag-evaporate through land, causes na yung tubig is mawawala, like the Angat Dam. If sobrang init, tendency is mawawala ng tubig. So as we know, the average of our temperature is around 25.5 degrees Celsius to a 26.5 degrees Celsius. Ito yung normal average ng temperature sa ating lugar. But what happened right now is mas tumataas yung level ng temperatura, which is maabot pa ng 47 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. Mas mainit, di ba? Unlike dati, yung temperatura is mababa lang. But what happened right now is mas mainit. So some effects of climate change is hot temperature. Yun na nga, kung sabi ko kanina, is pag tumaas ang temperatura ng init, tendency is mawawala ng tubig, and also dried land, also known as soil erosions. Next is more severe storm. Pag climate change kasi, ito yung phenomena na kung saan is pangmatagalan. We don't even know na ito ba ay babalik or something na magsistay. Next is loss of species rather. So if magkakaroon ng climate change, mawawala ng tirahan ng mga animals because of pagbabago ng klima. Therefore hindi nila na-adapt ang right temperature ng kanilang habitats. And lastly, not enough food. For example, from Baguio, if mataas yung temperature, pagmababa ang temperatura nila, tendency is titigas ang mga vegetables ng mga tanim nila. Therefore, sasayang, diba? Tendency hindi nila maiibenta ang kanilang produkto. So that's examples of not enough food. So the 5 causes of greenhouse gases. First is the generating power. So energy is the key of heart of the climate challenge and the key to the solution. So in generating electricity and heat by burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, or gas causes a large chunk of the greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and nitrous oxides, that blanket the earth and trap the sun's heat. The most electricity is still generated by burning fossil fuels, but cleaner sources of energy are gaining ground. About 29% of electricity currently comes from renewable sources, such as wind and solar, which nature will replenish and which emit little to no greenhouse gases or pollutant into the air. The cost of renewable energy technologies also keep falling, making renewables the most affordable source of power today. So fossil fuels, coals, petroleum, and natural gases are main sources of energy. So producing the vast majority of fuel, electricity, and heat used by people across the globe. So in 2005, a whopping 86% of energy and used worldwide came from fossil fuels combustions. And right now in the United States, the number isn't much lower at about 85%. Unfortunately, fossil fuels are also the primary culprit behind climate change. In the United States, they're to blame for more than 80% of greenhouse gases emission and 98% of carbon dioxide emission alone. And while natural process can absorb some of this carbon dioxide, an estimate of 4.1 billion metric tons of it is added to our atmosphere each year. So that number will rise dramatically if we don't check it ourselves. So that's how affect in generating power through climate change.
Good day everyone, my name is Rian Ismail. I'm going to tackle now manufacturing goods and industry. Manufacturing goods and industry produce emissions, mostly from burning fossil fuels to produce energy. It is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. So, manufacturing industry is one of the causes of climate. Why? Because the process of manufacturing involves a lot of energy use, and this energy often comes from burning fossils like coal and natural gas. Burning these fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and these gases trap heat and cause the earth to warm up. Besides, manufacturing industry cause negative impact to the environment through air pollutant emissions, toxic waste disposal, and water contamination. It is estimated that roughly 25% of emissions in the world come from factories themselves. Accordingly, the transportation sector generates the largest share of greenhouse gas emissions.
Cutting down forests. Cutting down forests to create farms or pastures or for other reasons causes emissions. since trees, when they are cut, release the carbon they have been storing. Each year, approximately 12 million hectares of forests are destroyed. Since forests absorb carbon dioxide, destroying them also limits nature's ability to keep emissions out of the atmosphere. Deforestation, together with agriculture and other land use changes, is responsible for roughly a quarter of global greenhouse gases emission. Trees absorb and store carbon dioxide. If forests are cleared or even disturbed, they release carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. Forest loss and damage is the causes of around 10% of global warming. There's simply no way we can fight the climate crisis if we don't stop deforestation. Example, humankind began in an extensively forested world. As population increased, different types of deforestation arose. People cleared forests for agriculture, grazing, firewood, and building, which still are the major causes of deforestation, along with logging, mining, and land development. Long-term changes in climate and fires also play a part.
The usage of transportation is one of the main causes of climate change due to combustion of petroleum-based products like gasolines. The main form of our transportation are trucks, ships, cars, and planes that runs on the fossil fuels. And speaking of fossil fuels, it is a hydrocarbon-containing material formed naturally in the Earth's crust from remains of dead plants and animals that is extracted and burned as a fuel, like coals, oils, and natural gas. The combustion of every transportation vehicle engines produces carbon dioxide, which is one of the major contributor of the greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases, it is a gas that absorbs and emits radiant energy with the thermal infrared range, causing the greenhouse effect. And the continuous climbing of numbers of vehicles produced is threatening the world because it may worsen the effect of the climate change over the next few decades. So it is also a cause of climate change due to the carbon dioxide produced by the black smoke coming from the factories that causes pollution. Deforestation for clearing lands for agriculture that decreases the production of oxygen. Although most of us here know that it is not, trees are the main source of oxygen because it is the sea. The sea produces 50 to 80% of oxygen in the planet. And rainforests are only responsible for producing 25% of the oxygen in the planet. But deforestation is still a threat to the loss of oxygen production and also the transportation products and materials used in producing food that uses cars, ships, planes, and also trucks that pollutes the air due to combustion of engines.